Jurík. I'm Director of Infrastructure and Nature at GIB Foundation. Our mission is to accelerate transition to sustainable, resilient and regenerative infrastructure. And my role is, I'm lead of Infrastructure and Nature team, which is dealing with how to integrate nature into infrastructure systems, infrastructure projects to benefit people and nature at the same time. At the moment, GIB participates in 4 Horizon projects. 3 of those are in the EU mission on adaptation to climate change, and one of them is in the climate neutral and smart cities. We are about to start our new project in later this year, which is also in the EU mission on climate adaptation to climate change. The projects are about engaging regions and cities in Europe and different communities, help them to develop climate adaptation strategies and specific solutions that they can implement and deploy to adapt to climate change, to specific hazards such as floods, droughts, heat waves, extreme heat, but also to achieve specific climate mitigation targets such as CO2 reduction. EU mission projects are similar are projects from the Horizon Europe program. There is not much difference to other topics when it comes to the submission, the proposal. Difference is, of course, the topic that you are dealing with. They are quite specific when it comes to delivering on specific targets and delivering solutions by 2030. So that's very important that they can deliver specific outcomes by 2030. And the second objective is to create innovation hubs for other cities and regions to deliver similar results by 2050. We started our first Horizon projects in 2016, which was still Horizon 2020 program. It happened in a way that our employee was approached by one organization, external partner, because of the expertise they were seeking, which was on finance and infrastructure, and that was how it happened. That's how we got into our first project. Of course, since then we have developed our network of partners in Europe and global network that allowed us to be involved more in these kind of initiatives and projects in the future. I think it was important first because we wanted to provide our tools, expertise, methodologies to the places where there was a need, and for example to cities, regions, project developers, investors to uptake more sustainable infrastructure and nature-based solutions. Secondly, it was important because we wanted to enlarge our also internal capacity, skills and knowledge through collaboration with different partners, because collectively, of course, we can achieve more than individually. And last but not least, we wanted to boost our internal capacity at GIB, which means having more resources to do more impactful work. So I think there are 2 ways how to get into Horizon projects. One is, we could call it active engagement or active participation, is creating a list of calls of your interest or of your choice, and then actively asking in your network who is working on those on those projects, who is interested in those calls and projects. The second is to, of course, be approached by external organizations or your network, because they may need your skills and your expertise. So that we have experience with both of those sort of approaches. When GIB joins these calls and projects, of course, there is always a benefit for the network and for the project itself. Typically, we are a partner that is delivering expertise on sustainable and resilient infrastructure and nature-based solutions. We have developed different tools in-house for the assessing, so the assessment of infrastructure projects, assessing feasibility of nature-based solutions. So this is why we are typically sold as a partner. Secondly, we have a vast network of investors, project developers, cities, regions, where we can tap into if needed. So this is the second reason. And I think the last reason why we are often sold is our expertise on finance, how to finance infrastructure projects and nature-based solutions. This is becoming a big topic, especially for nature-based solutions, because there are no clear business models and investment models into nature, and this expertise is very much needed. GIB sought support from the Euresearch on a number of occasions. We approach Euresearch on different aspects, mainly on the support to review proposals. So Euresearch helped us to review one proposal which was at the end successful. So that also says something about quality of the support that you are providing. Secondly, Switzerland has a very specific role in Horizon program, and it's changing a lot in time. So having somebody to give you advice on the current status of Swiss entities participation is useful, and this is also a question that we often ask Euresearch. And last but not least, of course, practical matters like financial reporting templates, new calls, new opportunities, that's also kind of another advice that we typically get. If I should summarize our participation in Horizon project, I would say that it was highly beneficial for GIB to be involved for various reasons. One is it helped us to develop our network, as I mentioned a few times, in a way that was unimaginable before. Secondly, it helped us to hire more people, more talents, because we have more resources to do projects. And it also helped us to develop topics that we were working on before, but also new topics. So we worked on sustainable infrastructure, but the topic of nature-based solutions was a new one to us. And Horizon projects and funding help us to really develop this pillar of work that GIB is very strong at the moment. So if you are interested to do your first Horizon project, what I would suggest is to do it in few steps. So first, do a mapping of successful projects, already funded projects in Horizon. Check the partners who are involved, and then that way you will see who can win proposals, who is active in this space. In the second step, check the existing upcoming calls on different topics, choose some of them, and then think about your role, what you can do, what role you could play in those calls. Once you do that, approach those partners that you identified in the first step and ask them if they're interested in the calls you selected, and see if they would be interested to partner with you. So this should lead, or this should guide you into a proposal sooner or later. And once you are in a proposal, make sure you have a strong coordinator who has good track records. So there's a team behind that person. There is that person successfully submitted and led a proposal and a project. I think these are very important factors to look at. And don't worry if you're not successful with your first submission. It's very much likely that it may not be successful if it's your first proposal, but it will give you experience. You will learn a lot about the process, the templates, the network, and you will build network that you can tap into for the second and third submission.